Go.
Back door, pretty standard for a bus, has a lever lock on it. Steel here is the original lever lock. They just added some glue and sealant too. Works pretty well, never noticed any major leaks, certainly no moisture, and didn't know much with the air. The back is cut out of a 1/4-inch ACX board with a fiberglass insulation behind it. All the original pieces were cut out so we could re-insulate it. The wiring for the lights and everything on the back actually comes in under the bottom couple panels and then runs up. There's the available behind this channel here. Those pretty thin. It's pretty solid. I haven't noticed any major leaks or anything. Up here we have solid red oak plywood that we used some pocket hole joints. Needs patched, but they're solid in there, not going anywhere. Each one has about, I think, a dozen connecting screws between the bottom, the sides, and the top. We also added in these just homemade shelves. They're rather primitive, but this one is actually a piece of the red oak plywood. So we had a television on it for a while. Those can be removed if needed. There's currently a total of 3 of these solid walls in here, and we actually have a couple other pieces available. We intended to do some framed walls up by the kitchen, to which I have already cut some 1/4-inch red oak veneer board. We haven't installed them, but they're welcome to whoever buys them if they feel they can use them. In here, we originally designed this as a bathroom. As you can see, we had built a compost toilet setup. Fits a 5-gallon bucket underneath. However, that's not permanent, and this can be reutilized as whatever's necessary. The bottom here, the wheel wells, they're capped with some of the subfloor and just some 3/4-inch pine plywood. They are very solid, and there's a reinforced insulation underneath, so there's no heat sink there. Here we have some screens that we just fashioned together to fit in the windows. We these little screws here to pin them in. They work pretty well. We had some debate on whether or not it was better to have them on the outside or inside, but we figured that being that we were driving down the road, having removable ones on the inside would be easier. As far as the windows go, almost all of them work perfectly with the exception of 1 or 2 at the front. There are no cracks, no breaks, and they've been resealed with sealant underneath. These cables hanging down here are the hookup points for the 4 solar panels up top. Right now they're just running in the side here, so that can be easily removed and readjusted as needed. We haven't fixed a permanent setup as of yet. Figured to keep it flexible. The bendable luan runs the entire length up until the driver's seat, which, like I said in the other video, we were tending to do differently. Over here we have our chest freezer or / ice box. Currently there is no permanent electric running to it, so ice box for legal reasons is what we're calling it. This comes with the bus, as it's necessary to be designated as an RV. Inside, there are a lot of components that were here with it. Everything from some of the original lights with the bus, some light fixtures that the previous owner had applied. We have a carbon monoxide alarm. There's various hooks and things of that nature. There's also a small breaker box that comes with it, as well as the regulator for the solar input. Some light bulbs, and all that is welcome to whoever picks it up, should you be able to use it. Over here we have this shelf we fashioned just as a service. Up here we have our butane stove. Canister goes right in there, and there's this carrying case that came with it. This is here just obviously as a cooking service, but it's another one of the requirements for the RV certification. Doesn't have to be permanent, just had to be there in order to get it certified as a legal RV. Additionally, this table, same story. Dining surface was required for the RV designation. It is currently quote-unquote permanent, however can be swapped out for an alternative very easily. So, lastly, up front here we have the driver's area. All the current, the original light controls and switches work and are there. To start it up, it's very simple. Has to be in neutral. Designation right here. The key turns the accessory position where you'll hear the beeping of the air brakes. Air brakes are in perfect condition and work very well. That will beep like so until the air brakes are fully charged and they will go off. You can start it in the meantime, but you will not be able to go anywhere until it finishes and the air brakes are disabled. I'll go ahead and give you a demonstration of that just to be thorough. In the meantime, the odometer right down here currently reads 65,200 some miles. That's because it's rolled over once. The actual mileage is 165,000. As you can see, there's a little better image. Fire it up. Alright. As you can see,
like a champ.
Starts right up. Never had any problem with that. The belts and everything else underneath look great. You probably need some TLC, definitely an oil change, but we've never had any problem with it mechanically speaking.